my Merdeka message, time to look at it, because Malaysia now is facing some unfortunate development because of race and religious conflict. The race question has somewhat resurfaced. Development of studying the Excellency Ambassador that quite unprecedented. I've served loyally under Mahathir, and I would say, although some of his views in the Malay dilemma, Malay position, Malay supremacy, definitive race to the Malays has been there, but frankly has never been that strong in his views, anti-Semitic, or anti-Jews, or anti-Chinese as being reflected now. He did towards the end, particularly when it was the end of my tenure, because when he started attacking the Jews, and I had to defend to say that, well, he did not mean it that way. I was just like playing the role of the fire brigade at that time, because it was a very, very difficult period during the financial crisis 1997-98. That was when Paul Martin, Man Mohan, and Gordon Brown were in the Merdeka and Bob Rubin sharing some of these notes, and you can understand why they did express sympathy for me, because they were there, and I had to really maneuver and navigate under very, very difficult circumstances. Now, by the Merdeka message, I appeal to the government to end this. We lost, not seriously, but from the data in the last elections, some that call very rural Malay Muslim belt. Primarily due to this incessant propaganda campaign that Pakatan Raya and the choice of the Prime Minister would sell this country to the Chinese or the Northerners. And that seems to be a continuous campaign throughout the message throughout the campaign. Well, the election's over. They continue. The latest from the issue of prayer hall that now has been demolished, because the Buddhists wanted to take over prayer halls, to the movie, which is a very strong racist slant, which will never be tolerated in any democratic country, certainly not the West, but not the Europe that I know of. The Tanda Putra movie just portrayed the Chinese as the villains who started the racial riots, who wanted virtually to take over political control of this nation. This was factual flaws there, but notwithstanding that, other than this attempt by Anwar to secure the Malay base, but it should never be the expense of racial harmony in this country. And so our position on the issue of freedom, justice, democracy, human dignity will never be compromised. Now, second issue was economic. The Fitch report downgrading and the latest figures and the growth projection, not only by Fitch that have been criticized the government. What the government said is very interesting, responding to the Fitch. Young analysts who don't listen to government's opinion. This is standard response. But it's not only Fitch. It's MIER, it's Bank Negara, who have actually given new projection of lower the forecast, growth forecast in this country. And the latest, of course, the petrol hike yesterday, 20 cents. Some people say, okay, it's normal, but there's a difference here. I must take some pains to explain to you. I happen to serve as finance minister for 8 years. I know how difficult it is in terms of revenue, how unpopular finance minister can be. Even with foreign ministries, no funds, no extra embassies, no, standard treasury response. But here our problem, our question is, given the scenario, if the procurement or tender is transparent, there is a saving of 20 billion ringgit. And this work we computed from the auditor general's report. Now, that's one. And about the waste, about the endemic corruption, we have, it's fortunate, there's a recent development which is quite positive. The head of the Anti-Corruption Commission invited me for a private meeting, which surprised me quite a bit, quite an interesting public relations exercise on his part. But I did welcome it, because I said, look, we are not against you as an institution. We want results. And after that meeting, he said, okay, I'm prepared to meet 10 or 12 of your MPs for a private session discussion. And of course, in that exchange, they asked, you mean to see there's no case against the children of Sarawak? You mean you have not seen these diamond rings and billions being exchanged? Okay, then it's interesting. The virtual, I must express my appreciation for the tenacity of the election of the Anti-Corruption Commission members or chiefs who said that, look, many of the cases you seem to think that we have not done our job. We did, and it's now with the Attorney General. The power of prosecution is with the Attorney General. And the General, of course, wants to ignore this major case. What is going to be major issue that we have to raise in Parliament? The standard plan with the Election Commission, the Anti-Corruption Commission will be, well, the Anti-Corruption Commission seemed to be satisfied, but I am not satisfied that you have a strong case. But my point is that corruption continues to be plaguing this nation. The third is crime. Crime, you know, the embassies have stepped up the security. I think I'm going to mention that. I have also stepped up my team, bodyguards. There's too many sharpshooters around. And so in short, again, we have. So in conclusion, this I then call to engage with us in the dialogue between the National Front government and the Pakatan opposition. Because a lot of interpretations, quite a number of unknown leaders just dismiss this as something Anwar's game or whatever, but they have not responded. Remember, years back, I consistently called on Najib to debate with him on economic, political issues of governance or manifesto. No response. Now, since I failed to ask him for a debate, I now invite for a dialogue. Now, that's not possible. Until now, there's no response. Maybe but then interpret it as an attempt to engage to forming a new unity government. I think it's a bit too far-fetched to suggest that. But why can't we, in the opposition, call on the ruling party to engage with us on, at least on the 4 issues of governance, on corruption, which includes corruption, on race and religious relations, on crime, and the 4 issues that I alluded to just now. And I think hopefully that would happen in the very near future. But otherwise, our choice, we had, many of you have followed immediately after the elections, how this expression of anger and disappointment, hundreds of thousands of people assembled at Kelana Jaya. There was so, I had a very tough decision that night to make, whether to say stay on or disperse. The very tough decision. The majority they were prepared to stay on. They were just disgusted with the fraud that's happened. And the fact that the elections have been stolen from us. But I happen to probably be old or wise, or probably have seen the turmoil in too many countries that I feel we can, our option is still a peaceful constitutional change. But mining is never been appreciated. This incessant, vicious campaign in the media continue unabated. The name calling, slandering, becomes a deep manifestation. So I would prefer the slight whisper from ambassadors and leaders now, half the prime ministers coming, for example. I mean, you cannot be just oblivious and talking your concern of Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, and no concern about democracy and democratic promotion, a rule of law, and respect for dignity, human rights in other countries. So I would appeal to Your Excellency to at least put it in a polite manner, because it would help us immensely to ensure that there is peace and rapid peace in this country. Now, I'm not just saying this, but you interact with many of us. And I represent, I'm a Malay Muslim, but I think you have to be fair and just to all. I mean, you cannot, after 56 years of independence, have this first, second, third class citizenship or discriminatory policies that we have. I'm not suggesting that we can ignore the problems of the poor, the marginalized Malays in the Putra, and very firm about that issue of affirmative action. But this needs to be done through a new economic agenda that is deemed to be fair, just, transparent, because there's vast majority that's poor, of course, representing the Malay and Bhumiputrans, but there's also pockets of poverty among the Chinese and also, of course, abject poverty among the Indians, particularly in the estate sector. We can only find a new Malaysia who are prepared to address this. So, terima kasih.